And welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas here with Stephanie Bianchi, and we're talking about Rescued Dreams Ranch. Kind of a new organization, would you say? How long have you been in existence?
For the past year, I suppose. We got our 501(c)(3) and the nonprofit status that made it us official in that sense this past summer. I believe.
Well, that counts as new, I would say. Mm-hmm. So remind us where you're located, hours of operation. You mentioned free, so I'm going to ask you eventually about funding. But tell us the nuts and bolts. Where can we find you and when?
We are located at 8745 Berkey Road, right in North Canton, heart of the community here. And we have a website, rescueddreamsranch.com. where we could be contacted for sessions, any interest in the ranch.
Are you always open the same hours, or does a person need an appointment? Is it better?
Yes, it's very, since we're right now, it's Kara, it's me, it's volunteers. So the hours are very flexible. It's really going to depend on our hours and when people are available.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the people who come to Rescued Dreams. What do you find their expectations are when they arrive? Because I'm sure when people come to a horse ranch, there's something they want. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that what we see, what we've continually remarked on to one another, is that people are coming, young people, not so young people, little people, with the desire for several things, just to share their stories, just for a sense of community. And I shouldn't say just, because that's everything, right? They want to be heard, listened to. I think our culture, many would agree, right, that we've become so technology oriented that so much gets and siphoned through our cell phones that there's a great hunger to look someone in the eye, to tell something of our story to them, and to have it heard and responded to. And so, for instance, even I can think of several people who've come out to help with various needs as we set up the ranch and the horses' needs. They've brought their skills, but time and again, what happens is also an hour or more will be spent just talking about their own story. Say that's what, that's what happens in that sort of environment, and that's what we want to happen. Is because every time stories are told, the gospel is served. I think Eugene Peterson says that somewhere.
That's interesting.
Author of The Message, and I've always loved that quote. I think that's exactly what we're about.
Okay, so now you mentioned that people come help with the setup and so forth. What volunteer opportunities are there available? Because, oh my goodness, I would think you'd have a long line of people saying, I would love to volunteer some time with something like this.
It really is about what gifts people might feel that they have to. It's really open. It doesn't have to just be a horse person saying, I have the ability to teach riding, say, by any means. Art therapy, is one thing that I've dreamed about, having the ability to have someone who would do art with, say, children who come. They love that.
How nice. But volunteers are welcome.
Yes, absolutely. We have wonderful people who have come alongside and done everything from coming to, we have one woman in the community who has massaged the horses when we've had, a couple of them are kind of geriatric in the herd, and has worked with pain issues. We have a wonderful mom and daughter team who come clean stalls or clean out the refrigerator in the little office, or just provide terrific support in that way, and community.
So nice.
So one young man came and ran the plumbing through the arena out to the turnout areas so the horses could have fresh water. through the winter. We'll have pipes that run water that doesn't freeze. So it's really
that's important
an
too.
array.
Well, so anyone listening thinking, oh my goodness, I would love to be a part of this, just check the website and contact you, yes?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the horses themselves for a moment. Where have you found these particular horses? Because I know not every horse would be this welcoming of every Tom, Dick, and Harry that finds, there's a relationship between a horse and his owner. And so horses need to be kind of special, do they not, if there's going to be a variety of people working with them?
Yes.
Where do you find them?
I think on our website we call them equine counselors for that reason.
Okay.
Right? So, oh my goodness, they come from everywhere. My own personal horse, who is leased back to Rescue Dreams, and in training at the moment, I found at a horse adoption group called New Vocations, and he is an ex-racehorse. He was a standardbred who never made it to the track, just wasn't fast enough. So his name is Thoughtful Man, and I call him Jack. And Jack had a less than stellar career right from the get-go, but apparently was beloved of his former owner's 9-year-old daughter, and he still has a love for kids. That's still in him. But when I got him from the adoption agency, some of the backstory on him is that he probably had kind of a rough time with his, in the interim period after the track, with an owner who smacked him around a bit. And so he's had a history of some abuse, for instance. That now, from the time I got him, we worked to develop a partnership, a relationship, an understanding that would never happen again between the two of us. And we have developed a trust. And again, moving Jack's feet has helped with that. The security, I've given him the safety and the security to know that he has a job and that he's appreciated and that he's cared for, but he gives back.
That is a fascinating
and
story.
I have a 9-year-old that I work with now who comes and works with, and she's certainly his favorite above me because he recalls that relationship, I think, with a child. And every time I ride him, say, among kids, whether I'm on the trail, out in public, occasionally we'll encounter them because he's currently, as I said, in training, so I have him off-site, but he gravitates right to them. And so I can put young people on him, and he takes care of them, and he relishes that. So we have a couple of other horses in the herd. Harley is one, and Magic Pony, and for instance, who are just steadfast, giving horses. They have a history, they have mileage, but they just have a generous way of relating to people and looking to understand, that one-on-one, the person who comes, sits in the saddle or gets in the ring with them. So it's beautiful.
Yes.
I'll rave about the herd. Sorry if you get me started on them there.
No, that's awesome. Is there a screening or something that goes by? Do they audition for you in any way?
Because not yet. There will be. If we were looking to take on and find some other horses for our program, certainly as we grow, there will be a screening. And but thus far, these horses have really just come into our lives, either personally, like Jack did for me, or they were gifted. And we have chosen to put them in the program because they have been totally suited to this kind of work. But in the future, yes, we'll need to carefully assess how safe a horse is in all aspects, whether on the ground or under saddle, that they have that kind of experience and mileage that we can place them with everyone from beginners to maybe people. We have some people come who are horse people, for whom it's more about, other issues maybe. They're comfortable discussing those issues in the company of horses and doing horsey things. I for instance, will ride with some of those people on their own horses, say, Jack and I, and have conversations and kind of spiritual formation type relationships that are facilitated by horses. But it's going to have to be, the herd is going to have to grow very slowly and carefully as God brings that right horse.
Oh, I like that. I love the story of Jack, and that he almost understands that this is a second career for him, and that he's getting fulfillment in that second career as well. He seems to understand that, doesn't he?
They know.
Yeah.
They do.
We're speaking with Stephanie Bianchi. She is a co-founder and currently serving on the board of Rescued Dreams Ranch. Let's talk about the other co-founder, Kara Zender, her dream that you say that has driven this.
Yes. Kara is the mighty force, the visionary behind all of it, and has poured her whole self and labored to get it going from and her husband, for that matter, Steve Zender as well, power washing those stalls and getting the whole facility ready for the horses. And Kara just has an enormous, generous heart. She wants to share her gifts, and she regards the horses and her nursing ability. She's a nurse practitioner by training, sort of just a natural healer, and she wants to share that with people and whoever comes. She often says that this is just thorough calling. I don't know. Both of us are very, as is everyone, busy people in so many respects. But God has placed on her heart a very distinct calling to open up this place to come, this ministry, and see what he does with it, really. She's very open to what he will want to do here with people.
It's so great that you recognize that and you're going with it and following it and being obedient to that. We have less than a minute left, and we've got less than 30 seconds left. Tell me about funding. Where does the money come from? How could someone contribute to this or make a donation towards it?
Well, certainly the website is a place where people could go, rescueddreamsranch.com, if they would like to help to donate funds, donate time, or for instance, we just had a wonderful, generous donation of sand to the arena, which we desperately needed for footing. And otherwise, it's grants. Lots of grant writing.
Great. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope you join us again tomorrow on Our Community.